Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again with another reaction for you guys. The second segment from Amber Heard's first interview after the trial has been released today. Of course, we had the first big segment, almost 10 minutes yesterday. I reacted to that. Link will be in the description and the pinned comment by me if you guys want to go check that out. And I'm here reacting to the second segment, which is a little over 8 minutes long. I'm curious to see what's going to be said here because I really felt that first segment that came out, that was crazy stuff being, said in there in regards to, of course, Amber's answers to stuff, and this interviewer who's doing a fantastic job in that first segment was just like destroying Amber and not letting her get away with certain things she was saying. So I'm curious to see what is going to be said here in the second segment. Unlike yesterday where I heard the first few minutes and then I stopped and recorded the video and then got to the point where it was all new stuff. This is all brand new. I didn't see one bit of this. I was waiting to do a video in this because I want to continue to talk about this because Amber is doubling down. Of course, she was going to double down and stuff like this in response to questions and everything. So, let's get into it now. Amber Heard says she has no bad feelings for ex-husband Johnny Depp. I don't know what she means by that, apparently, with all the stuff she said about him when she was on the stand. But let's get into it now. Let's check it out and see what Amber has to say. And, of course, we're going to be pausing and everything and discussing her responses and what's being said here. So, let's jump in.
There's a text message where Johnny promises total global humiliation for you. Do you feel like that came true?
Oh, long pause. A really long pause.
I know he promised it. I testified to this. I'm not a good victim, I get it. I'm not a likable victim. I'm not a perfect victim, but
what?
When I testified, I asked the jury to just see me as human and hear his own.
Sorry, I gotta pause because she took a long time to answer this. The fluttering of the eyes. I remember specifically she said she was not a victim. I think it was during the cross with Camille. I think she said that she was not a victim, or she said I'm trying to remember the words, so apologies for that. But I remember specifically her saying something along the lines of that she doesn't see herself as a victim. Something like that. But then all the stories and everything she was claiming that happened to her. It took her a long time to respond to that. And the fluttering of the eyes and just the way it just, once again, it feels not genuine.
He did just see me as human and hear his own words, which is a promise to do this. It feels as though he has.
Amber?
Well, he didn't. You brought this upon yourself for saying something and thinking you could get away with it, and then he responds back. And he didn't actually do it himself. They're claiming that Johnny and people behind Johnny are the ones kind of leading the charge against Amber online, but I there's no confirmation of that. It's pretty clear it's the majority of the people who kept up with this trial, kept up with the information.
Heard reflecting on the ripple effects of her tumultuous trial with Johnny Depp.
Having been found liable, are you nervous as we are here today about what you can say now?
Good question.
Of course.
That's a good question.
I took for granted what I assumed was my right to speak.
Do you feel like you could be sued again by him for defamation?
Okay, we're getting to that question again. Do you feel like you could sue you again? Because that's been the question now with her statement after losing the trial, because she of course put out a statement after she lost, and her asking her, "Are you worried about what you're going to say?" And then that whole thing about, "I thought I had the right to speak up." Like, well, look, you have a right to say whatever you want. However, that does not protect you, as we learned in your case, because you defamed. The jurors decided you defamed Johnny Depp.
For granted what I assumed was my right to speak.
Do you feel like you could be sued again by him for defamation?
I'm scared
It's possible.
that no matter what I
don't
do,
know. I don't think you would, though.
no matter what I say or how I say it, every step that I take will present another opportunity for this sort of silencing.
Silencing. That's interesting. You lost the case, and I get it. You want to continue to say what you believe is to be true, her false narrative, if you will. But I don't see Johnny ever suing her again unless she goes out and writes another article or does something to the extreme that he will do it, that he will sue her again. I just don't see him doing it because I feel like he's just going to move on. Because he has to know from his lawyers and probably from his own perspective, she's going to continue to say stuff. So if she goes on the level of writing an article and doing what she did last time, he might do it again. But, I mean, her career's over, pretty much. Like, what else can you do to her besides just take more money from her that apparently she doesn't even have?
Which is what I guess a defamation lawsuit is meant to do. It's meant to take your voice.
Oh God, Amber. Okay. No, it's to tell you to stop lying. That's what it's saying. And if you disagree with that, then appeal, which apparently she is going to try to do, but I don't see that going anywhere.
But Amber is still speaking,
of course
just
she is.
days
Just now.
after a jury stunned many and found the actress defamed.
Stunning many? That didn't. Well, I mean, it stunned some people. Like, what? Oh, he actually won, because there was a lot of talk about how it's hard to prove defamation. But I think with all of the evidence and everything that was happening through the trial, it didn't stun a lot of people that she lost, because the fact is that there was so much stuff against her that it was actually stunning if that she won. Like, he lost everything and she won. You know what I'm saying? That would have been stunning.
Depp in an op-ed where she said she was a public figure representing domestic abuse.
Yes, we know.
The piece, which never mentioned Depp by name, was published 2 years after the couple announced they had settled their divorce.
Yep.
Life had seemingly moved on, and you decide to write an op-ed. Why did you do that?
Because the op-ed wasn't about my relationship with Johnny.
Oh, Amber. Oh, Amber. I hope she responds to that, because that's full of shit. She said on the stand it was about Johnny, but she said it was also about some bigger issues and stuff. But it was about Johnny. You said it on the stand. It was about Johnny. That you.
But it alluded to him. It was unmistakable.
You know,
Thank
with
you.
the
Thank you so much. Unmistakable. It's about Johnny Depp. My God, thank you so much. You just buried her again.
To him.
It
was unmistakable.
Lean forward.
What the op-ed was about was, me loaning my voice to a bigger cultural conversation that we were having at the time.
Did you worry?
You were jumping on the bandwagon, Amber. You jumped on the bandwagon to tell your story. You jumped on the bandwagon of Me Too movement. That's what you did. That's what you did.
Voice to a bigger cultural conversation that we were having at the time.
Did you worry? Gosh, I'd love to be a person weighing in on these cultural issues, but that's going to stir this all up again.
I obviously knew it was important for me not to make it about him.
But it was. It was.
About him, or to do anything like defame him. I had lawyers, teams of lawyers, review all the drafts of this.
Really?
When you wrote this op-ed, it was the...
Really? You had lawyers reading this? I wouldn't want to be a lawyer. Like, I wouldn't want to be a lawyer, supposedly, don't know if this is true, that reviewed this and said, this is not defamation, because now she probably blames them for not telling her to that's interesting. That's interesting. Lawyers, okay.
Do anything like defame him. I had lawyers. Teams of lawyers.
Okay, teams of lawyers,
review
not one.
all
lawyers,
the drafts
teams.
of this.
When you wrote this op-ed, it was the height of Me Too. Legions of powerful men being canceled, losing their jobs.
Basically saying...
Did you want that to happen to Johnny Depp?
Of course not. Of course not.
What?
It wasn't about him.
It wasn't about him. Amber, I wish, oh my God, I wish you'd pull up the tape. Just pull up the part in the courtroom where she's on the stand and says, it's about Johnny Depp. Amber. Oh my God, Amber. Oh my God. This is embarrassing. This, so far, I think, has been, like, it's almost as good right now, like yesterday's segment, in terms of all the stuff that's been covered. My God, they're getting to some hard shit right now, and we're not even halfway through this thing.
Of course not. It wasn't about him.
You wanted to hurt him.
But the op-ed and the abuse alleged was at the heart of the 6-week trial.
Of course it was.
Pulls his arm back with the phone.
They're playing clips. Why can't you play the clip where she freaking says that?
This alleged was at the heart of the 6-week trial.
It was about Johnny.
Just pulls his arm back with the phone and throws it at my face. Hit me right in it felt like my eye.
Heard testified that the final straw came after a violent fight in May 2016. 6 days later, she filed for a restraining order, cameras capturing her as she left the courthouse. But Depp's lawyers convinced the jury Heard was lying about the abuse. Police who responded to the 2016 incident testified during the trial that they didn't see any injuries and that Heard declined to file charges.
This was
Exactly. I mentioned this yesterday in my video covering the first big segment that dropped yesterday. The police all testified separately there was no injuries on Amber Heard when she claimed there was injuries and broken glass and all this shit. I'm glad they mentioned this.
They didn't see any injuries,
No
and that
injuries.
Heard
None.
declined to file charges.
Because she was in a deposition in 2016. Sorry for pausing again. She was in a deposition in 2016, I believe, where she was saying that that the officers came to her place and saw the bruising and talked to her alone and all this kind of like, well, just say something and we'll arrest him. She mentioned that, and they also mentioned the pictures too. Come on, bring up pictures. Come on, bring up the pictures.
Declined
Come on,
to file charges.
Come on.
this was a hoax, is according to his team.
It was.
Why didn't I cooperate with the police? As I've testified before, and I will stand by until my dying day, I didn't want to cooperate with them. I didn't want this to be out. I didn't want this to be known.
The cops. Oh my God. I can't believe she's saying this, and all the cops, all of them, I think there was like 3 or 4, all testified against her. Why is she...
Cooperate with them. I didn't want this to
I shouldn't be surprised at this point.
be out. I didn't want this to be known. I didn't want to cooperate with them because I didn't want this to be... I didn't want to get him in trouble. If it was a hoax, I could have done that.
I didn't want to get him in trouble, but yet you... Oh my God, Amber. God, you're just digging. Just keep digging that hole deeper, Amber. The hole is already so fucking deep, you're at the Earth's crater. Keep digging. Keep digging deeper, Amber. Come on.
I didn't want to get him in trouble. If it was a hoax, I could have done that.
But 5 days later, you went to court, and it came out.
5 days later, I made the decision to stand up for myself and protect myself. You can't get a restraint.
But you didn't... But, okay, just get something. But you... 5 days later, you just changed your mind. Okay.
Court, and it came out.
5 days later,
5
I
days
made the
later.
decision to stand up for myself and protect myself. You can't get a restraining order in private, which of course I didn't understand the night when the cops were called.
An employee of TMZ testified at court and
Let's get into it. Let's get into TMZ. Let's get into it. Come on. Holy
Later,
shit.
I made the decision to stand up for myself and protect myself. You
Come
can't
on.
get a restraining order in private, which of course I didn't understand the night when the cops were called.
I doubt they talked about that.
an employee of TMZ testified at court and said that TMZ was tipped off about when you were going to be going to the courthouse and on what side of your face bruises would be apparent. Did you tip off TMZ?
I was going to say, he certainly didn't get tipped off by me or
Did
anyone in my...
anyone you know tip off
Absolutely.
TMZ?
Why would they? No.
You ask no one to do that.
As I testified to before, it had nothing to do with me.
There are different incidents that you testified to.
Oh my God. That's from the Don Rickles tribute. I remember. Because I remember they were both there. Because I remember watching that years ago.
Testified at court and said that TMZ was tipped off about when you were going to be going to the courthouse and on what side of your face bruises
This was
would be
so
apparent.
eye-opening. Like,
Did you
what?
tip off TMZ?
I was going to say, he certainly didn't get tipped off by me or
Did
anyone in my...
anyone you know tip off
Absolutely.
TMZ?
Why would they? No.
You ask no one to do that.
As I testified to before, it had nothing to do with me.
They're different.
There are certain people that were not... I bet there's certain people in her camp that didn't have to testify, that they would have to lie under oath, because when he came on the stand, I think his name is Morgan Tremaine, when he came on the stand, the former TMZ employee, and said, we got tipped off, she's going to be at the courthouse, and said specifically during direct that courthouse is not a public place, like not like a hotspot for celebrities, so we don't have people just stationed at the courthouse to take photos. So when they were notified of Amber Heard going to court at a specific time, and when she gets out of court, she is going to have a bruise on a certain side of her face, and she will turn to the camera so you get the shot. He was very specific about what the information was. At that point, I don't think it was Amber directly, but I'm telling you it was somebody in her camp that told them what was happening, because he made it very clear. They don't have people with cameras from TMZ set up at the courthouse because that's not a hot spot for celebrities to appear. But when you get tipped off from somebody who's apparently in the know, somebody in her camp, like, how would they know that specific information, her going to the courthouse? It was somebody she told that she's going to the courthouse, and they saw the bruise, and they told them exactly where to go, what time, and what side of the face to take a picture of to see the bruise.
Why would they? No.
You ask no one to do that.
As I testified to before, it had nothing to do with me.
There are different incidents that you testified to.
is thrown out the window.
And the Depp legal team would put up pictures of you publicly right after that, or in the days following, and saying that why are there no bruises?
Again, it's that thing. If you have bruising, if you have injuries, it's fake. If you don't have any, then it's...
Oh, okay, but... Okay, she's deflecting.
No bruises.
Let's see what the
Again,
fans
it's that
are.
thing. If you have bruising, if you have injuries, it's fake. If you don't have any, then you weren't injured.
You had promised to donate
Okay, but here's the thing. Oh, did she just...
the $7 million.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm so glad we're getting to that. Okay, but I can't believe she's bringing up the donation. I was thinking maybe they're gonna save that if it's brought up, and I'm so glad it's here. Okay, her response there is terrible about the bruising, and the images that were shown were literally, there is no bruising here on your face, here on your back, where you claimed he held you to the ground, all that kind of stuff. I mentioned that yesterday in the video that I made about the first segment, saying how, you know, she was saying all this about how she got punched in the face so much that she couldn't remember how many times she got hit, and she was like on her stomach on the ground. He had his knee or foot into her back, holding her down, causing bruising or whatever. And yet they showed that back image of her, that dress, like you can kind of see her back completely, about how, where's the image? There it is. Yeah, right here, where you see there is no bruising. Obviously it's big for me because it's full screen, but on the video here, there's no bruising, and they made a point to point this out, and she's like, well, you know, it's fake if there is no bruising, and that's not an answer, Amber. That's not an answer.
And
They point out the fact there's no bruising.
Why are there no bruises?
Again,
Yeah.
it's that thing. If you have bruising, if you have injuries, it's fake. If you don't have any, then you weren't injured.
You had promised to donate the $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity. It was revealed at trial that you haven't done so yet. However, they played a tape where you stayed on the air that you have donated it. Do you think that raised questions as to your credibility with the jury?
I made
Yes, it did. I want to know her fucking response so bad. Okay. I remember watching that video clip, and I was shocked they actually had it included into evidence. But that, and I think her team tried to block it. Nope, it's her words. She's speaking about herself in this clip. It was some sort of overseas talk show, and she mentioned that she was going to donate, and she did donate. She said I donated the money to the charities. I donated the $7 million. She said it to that live audience and the person asking the question that she did, and I think she got a round of applause or some shit, I think. But regardless, she said it, and she was telling people that she donated the money. And this is the same woman that used donates and pledge synonymously. It's the same word to her. It's completely different. What's her answer going to be here? Because, yes, I think with this being brought up in court, of course, they're hammering it down so hard because look, she kept saying, I think also in that video clip, she also said, too, in the response that I didn't want anything from him or something to that effect. I didn't want anything, so I donated the money. But she said it more than once in other places, but she was saying how she didn't want anything from him, so she donated the money, but yet she kept it.
On the air that you have donated it. Do you think that raised questions as to your credibility with the jury?
Of course it did.
I made a pledge, and that pledge is made over time by its nature.
When you
And
say I donated, You know that everybody thinks that you've donated it,
actually
not that you
it's
pledged
gone.
it. So for the jurors sitting there,
Thank you for hammering it
do
down.
you think they felt like that was you getting caught in a lie?
Yes, thank you for the question, because that's an amazing question, because here's what I like. She did not allow Amber to get away with that response, because Amber's like, well, I pledged. No. Donated as in it's gone. The money is not with you. And then she tried to stay on the stand. I can't even talk today. It's been a long day. I'm tired as hell. She tried to say on the stand that I got sued by Johnny. I couldn't donate the money. And then it was revealed that she had the money for over a year, I think 15 months or so, before she got any sort of response from Johnny and the lawyers. So she had the money for over a year, and she didn't donate it. She kept telling, because of course when she got caught in the lie that she didn't actually donate the money because it was proven in records and everything, and then of course being brought up in cross, Amber said, okay, I pledge. I pledged it, but the money's not actually fully there. But I didn't have the money. But you had it for over a year, because they made a point in the timeline. Here is when you got the $7 million, and here is when you got sued, because she said that she had to pay $6 million plus for lawyers against Johnny and everything when all this went down. But you had the money. But you had that money, that $7 million that you claimed you didn't want anymore, for over a year. Okay.
Do you think they
Thank you for
felt
hammering
like
it down on
that
her.
was you
Thank
getting
you.
caught in a lie?
Yes.
I don't know, because so much of I feel like so much of the trial was meant to cast aspersions on who I am as a human, my
Of course it is.
credibility to
Credibility, exactly, because that's the whole point of a trial.
cast aspersions on who I am as a human,
terrible
my
answer.
credibility, to
Fucking
call me a
terrible.
liar in every way you
Exactly.
can. And
That
Exactly.
was the trial. It was a credibility contest.
Ooh,
And that was it.
this is another one of the examples where
Amber, you are. This. Amber Heard's credibility is already in the shitter. Okay, we already pretty much all know that. She has literally made it so much worse with this response. Just this response alone. Because instead of just, oh my God, I cannot believe she's saying this. Oh my God, Amber.
because so much
It's a lie.
Felt like that was you getting caught in a lie.
It is. It's a lie.
I don't know, because so
I don't
much
know.
of I feel like so much of the trial was meant to cast aspersions on who I am as a human, my
She really didn't think that she was going to respond, saying, well, that's the whole point of the trial about what you're saying right now.
credibility, to call me a
It's about the
liar
credibility,
in every
calling
way
you a
you
liar,
can. And
pointing
That
it
was the trial. It was
Exactly.
a credibility contest.
Exactly.
And that was it.
That was
this
it.
is another one of the examples where if you pull back and you think about it, I shouldn't have to have donated it in an effort to be believed. I shouldn't have had to earmark the entirety of that in order to have.
You shouldn't have, but once you said you did.
Right,
Yes.
which is where it was intended to go.
Oh my God, Amber, your fucking answer is so bad. I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm shocked at how bad this answer is. How in the hell did she think this was a good answer? Well, mostly to everything she's responding to, but this in particular, this is one of the biggest points against you, Amber. And instead of admitting the fact that you lied about this, you are continuing, because she's not going to admit to anything. She's not going to backtrack. No. This is such a
an
horrible-
effort to be.
And she's not allowing Amber to get away with it. She's continuing to hammer the point. Make it known, I'm not allowing you to get away with this shit, Amber. My God, this is embarrassing upon embarrassing. Jesus.
Believed. I shouldn't have had to earmark the entirety of that in order to have.
You shouldn't have, but once you said you did.
Right, which is where it was intended to go.
Heard says she
wanna know
still
why it
plans
cut.
to honor that pledge.
She has
How do you see your future now?
Oh, that's interesting. No career. How could she honor the pledge when she can't even pay Depp? Like, she can't pay Depp his money that he's owed now. She can't pay it. I think it's her main lawyer, Bredehoff, whatever, Elaine Bredehoff. She went on a couple different, she did like 2 interviews, I think, the day after the trial, and was talking all this stuff. And I think she openly admitted, I think she did more than 2, but she said that Amber doesn't have the money to pay Johnny Depp. So how are you going to donate the $7 million? She's not going to fucking donate it. It's not going to happen. I'm just telling you. If you're
Heard
holding out hope that she's actually going to do it, she's not.
says she still plans to honor that pledge.
She's not.
How do you see your future now?
I
No
get to be a
career?
mom, like full time, you know, where I'm not having to juggle calls with lawyers.
Okay, we're talking about her kid. Her kid has nothing to do with this. But there's something that she says here that's very interesting. I just heard her.
Future now.
I get to be a mom,
Wait.
like full time, you know.
Full time. Interesting. Like I said, this has nothing to do with her kid. I'm not going to comment on her kid. Her kid has nothing to do with this. This is all about Amber. Has nothing to do with her child. With her saying, I'll be a mom full time, she knows her career's over. She knows it's done. I mean, that's very specific wording. Think about it. Amber is very specific with her words, whether she's lying or not, which at this point, pretty much everyone's saying she lies about everything. But she's very specific about her words, okay? And I know that goes to credibility and, you know, all that kind of shit. But I'm saying whenever she responds to something, she thinks it all through, and she's very particular. She just said full time. Now, I may be looking too much in this, but when she says that, because she could just say focusing on being a mom and whatever and kind of just moving on. But she said full-time mom. I think she knows her career's over. I think she knows she's not going to have a chance to continue acting. I think.
I get to be a mom, like full time, you know, where I'm not having to juggle calls.
Well, you might, if you
With
continue to
lawyers.
talk, you might
One
have
day
to.
you may want to tell your daughter about this or have to tell your daughter about everything
might
that
have-
you've gone
She's
through.
going to have to,
What would
unfortunately.
you want to say?
I think
What can you say?
no matter what, it will mean something. I did the right thing.
Well,
I
like I said, not response to her kid, but do not tell. You can tell your kid all whatever you want, but I think by the time her kid even goes to school and people realize who her kid is, I don't think people are really going to care because Amber Heard's going to be not relevant anymore. She's only relevant now because of all this stuff right now. But that's interesting.
I did the right thing.
That's what I was going to respond to. I forgot for a brief second. It's been a long day. I did the right thing. No, you didn't. You lost. You didn't do the right thing. You lied. You defamed Johnny Depp. You lied.
I did everything I could to stand up for myself and the truth.
Heard and Depp's volatile relationship lasted just 4 years. Depp confirming his engagement to me on Today in 2014.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you excited?
Yeah, very.
Interesting.
She's a wonderful girl. She's
If only you knew. If only you knew.
she's sharp as a tack. You know, wonderful. You know, Southern belle and sweet as can be, and
He had
and
no
very
idea.
good for me. You know.
On the
He had
first
no
day of the
idea.
trial, you issued a statement, and part of the statement said, I still have love for Johnny.
Yes,
Is that still true?
yes,
After everything?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Huh?
I love him. I loved him with all my heart.
I loved. Not
And
love,
I tried the best I
loved.
could to make a deeply broken relationship work. And I
Huh?
couldn't.
What? She still has love for Johnny, even though. Okay, whatever, Amber. Whatever. She did fantastic, by the way. There's a good freeze frame of Amber. Okay, how long? Oh my God, I've been going for quite a while. I'm looking at my recording setup. Wow. Okay. To get to the point, I think this segment covered a lot of big things that needed to be said. Because the first big segment yesterday covered a lot of good stuff. This covered some great stuff, of course. The pledge donation thing with the money, and the end there about what? About you still loving John? I still don't understand why. How could she all the stuff she was saying on the stand? How could she still love him? Apparently, from all the stuff he apparently did. How? I love the fact that she didn't allow Amber to get away with certain responses about, could this be seen as like your credibility? It's like, well, no, and then the bruises and the pictures and I think Amber knows her career is over. Like I think there's like a film. I think it's a film, because I learned about it because she, I guess whenever she finished the project, she like posts about it or something. Because I remember seeing it around the time when the trial started. Something called In the Fire. I think it's a movie. It's not listed on her Wikipedia. It's on her IMDb, but it's not on her Wikipedia. But I don't know if she's the star. I don't think she's the star, but she's in the movie. I feel bad for the director and for all the other actors, the crew, anybody that worked on that movie, because I think it's a movie. Anyways, I feel bad for everybody who worked on the project, because it is now like basically damaged goods, essentially. What's the right wording for it? Like, it's just like, how do you release it? I mean, you can release it, but good luck on trying to get anybody really to support it. Because here's the thing. I feel like at this point, Amber's probably on a blacklist amongst a lot of different studios, other actors, and stuff like that people don't want to work with her anymore. Even before then, we were hearing rumblings for the last number of years. There were certain people that didn't want to work with her, or just didn't want to be associated with her and didn't want to work on a project with her, because she really hasn't done too much in the last number of years. I think she definitely could have done more projects, but I feel like it's because of the fact that people just didn't want to work with her. But I feel like now, if they make an announcement within the next couple of months or so, even within the next year or so, that Amber Heard has signed on for a supporting role in some limited series on Paramount Plus or Netflix or something, first of all, it'd be really risky to even get her a part of a project. But I'm telling you, that's going to hurt your project majorly. That's going to make it to where it's going to be hard to promote a project with her in it, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be responding and boycotting it and not supporting it. You're basically hurting the project if you have her on in any sort of capacity of something. So I feel bad for this project that she recently did before the trial started, because now, if that actually is a solid movie or whatever it is, and it's good or something, and it's now going to be seen as this thing to where no one wants to support it because she's in it, that's a bad look. That's terrible. This was just bad. Man, Amber's response is just terrible here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next little bit, because I don't see her career like bouncing back from this. I don't see how she could continue to get work after this, because any project with her name associated is not going to be seen as it's going to be hurting the box office potential. It's going to be hurting the potential viewership of a show or something to that effect. So, yeah. I'm curious to see the full thing. It's coming out Friday, I believe. I'm curious to find out, to see what she's going to say, because we've already heard a good chunk, and my God, her answers are terrible. She just continues to dig herself deeper into the hole that she can't get out of now. She does have supporters. I'm not going to sit here and say she doesn't, but understand that is not going to help her. She lost a major case, a major publicized case. And there was so much evidence and so many things that were added to that case that we all heard, we all saw, all of that. To say that she's going to have a career after this, I think, is a big red. It's a big red flag. It's a joke. Oh boy, it's been a long day. I need to sleep. There was the reports that came out, I think, yesterday that she's going to be removed from Aquaman 2, and then apparently her team came out and said that that's false. I do think they're going to replace her. I don't think she's going to be in Aquaman 2. If she is, that's going to really hurt that movie. But then again, people were saying back when things are going down with Aquaman, the first one, that they were going to be people boycotting it because of the whole Amber Heard in the movie. Because back then, of course, things were being said and whatever, and of course the divorce and all that kind of stuff. It was just a whole thing. I remember it being a big thing. But now I think it's going to be it's actually going to hurt Aquaman if they keep her in the movie. And apparently Mara doesn't have a lot of screen time, but apparently, based on people talking, is that she does have some significant scenes. So they'd have to reshoot. They couldn't just like add somebody in post, or you shoot somebody by themselves. They have to actually be in scenes with other actors for it to work, I guess. I don't know, but I really do think that Amber is done. I think her career is over, and I do think they will. I think it's going to cost more money, but I think they're going to reshoot Mara in Aquaman 2 and remove her. That's my prediction. So what do you guys think of this second segment here, there was definitely a lot of stuff covered, but I'm curious to know what you guys thought and how you responded to it. And what do you think about Amber's future? Do you think she's going to have a career or some sort of career? Do you think she's going to be able to bounce back and do some indie stuff? Whatever thoughts you have, guys, let me know in the comments below. And I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.